It's hand rubbing morning this morning, apparently. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sammy, Not Our People's TV. Welcome to another morning live news show. It's going to be an interesting one today because there seems to be, I didn't really think that this was a debate, but apparently it is, around Ruben Amorim, around the last three games, and what you all feel is the difference maker. And I've already spoken about the tweaks that I think I've seen in the system, but I want to sort of throw it to you guys and girls. I want to have a chat with you in the comments about what changes you feel has happened. Of course, the execution from the players has definitely improved as well, but we're going to speak about that. We're also going to run through the latest news, as we always do. We'll speak about the under-21s winning last night. Cheeto, by the way, 2 goals in his last 3 games, I think. It's good to see him scoring again. And yeah, just have a nice old chat. And then we'll speak about the Forest game and Sean Dyche, because I want to beat him badly on Saturday. Let me say hello to everybody, and let's get into today's show. Good morning to Josh, to Carl, while the mods we've got down here. We've got Stephanie, we've got Alex. Good morning to all of you. Some members as well. Of course, your username's all bloody different now. I guarantee all of you, some members as well. Of course, your username's all bloody different now. I guarantee, like randomly, next week we're going to come along, and they're all going to be back to normal. Be like, can you just stop changing the usernames? Please, be nice. Craig Knowles, good morning to you. Imtiaz, we've got Molly, mate. We've got Maddie. We've got, probably not that Molly, mate. Maybe, if it is. Hello, Molly. Teresa, good morning to you. Blazing Runner. We've got some non-members as well. We've got Ryan. We've got Frankie, Luca, PCS, Quaint, and another Ant. Right, let's get involved in today's show. Should be a good one. Can I start off by saying this? This is a class thing. Got this yesterday in the PO box. This is, I'm not sure if you can see the date. I've actually decided this morning I might get a new camera. Might upgrade the camera for the studio. Because I want to get one that you can like hold stuff up there and it will zoom in and back out. Anyway, you see the date on the corner of that? There. That says Saturday the 15th of April 2000. And it's a programme for United against Sunderland. And look at what the next game at Old Trafford was. Can you see down there in the corner? UEFA Champions League, quarter-final, second leg against Real Madrid. Now, I haven't actually Googled this, but was that the game where Ronaldo got a standing ovation, where he was absolutely bloody unplayable? So I'm sure it was around that time. Anyway, this is just cool. I was reading through this yesterday, and it just made me laugh. I want to pull up this one. The adverts just make you feel... Look at this. Look at the advert in there, right? Mini disc system, designed by Sharp, high-speed digital recording, inspired by Ferrari. I was like, oh, come on. He's a class. Anyway, who sent this? I'll tell you that. This was sent by Eamon from the Fermanagh branch in Ireland. He said, thanks for giving our Fermanagh branch a mention on your channel. Every bit helps us. Been a member for 2 years now. So he sent this in. So we'll pop this up on the shelf. If there's any other members of any branches all around the world and you want to send stuff in or send in messages, that would be a cool thing to do. I'd love to interact with you. And you know what I've recognised as part of this as well? Where is it? This bit here. Fred the Reds Junior Devils. Now, this is a really random thing for me to mention here. And I doubt I'm going to get it. But this is from April. Now, my birthday's in March. And there's a little, like, not sure you can see it there, birthday greetings list. We've got a list of some young Reds and their birthdays. If anybody's got one of these old school ones from around the year 2000, because I was definitely a member in the year 2000, I want to see if my name's in here. Down from the 13th of March. Because these ones, they stop on the 21st of March. It's really close, actually. So if anybody's got one of these old school United reviews from March in any year in like, I don't know, I reckon from like 1998 to like 2003 or 4, my name might be in there. So if you do have it, send me a photo. I thought that'd be class. I'm going to get down the shelf. These are the sort of cool things that I'm really happy that you're all sending in. Yeah. So thank you very much, Eamon. Cool. Right, let's get on with today's show. It's always fun to do these little things at the start, I think. Good news yesterday for the under-21s. They beat Rochdale in the National League Cup. I think it's the first time that they've beaten a senior team. And even good news for two United players as well. Chido Obi and James Scanlon. Both of them scored. Jim Thwaites got the assist for Chido. And I think I've already mentioned this before. Might do like a sort of an update video on Chido, on his season so far. Because last season, obviously he got thrust into the spotlight because Hoyland just wasn't delivering. Natasha and Steph, you're going to take a look. Thank you very much. I think it'll be... I know for a fact that I was in Fred the Reds. I was part of the Fred the Red Club for a long time. So I was wondering if my name's in one of these programs somewhere. But it's good to see Chido scoring again yesterday. And also good to see Jim Thwaites getting an assist. Everyone get your predictions in the comments, right? What under-18s player do you... Yeah, under-18s. What Manchester United Academy player? It doesn't really matter what the age is. Who do you think the next debut is going to be? I'm trying to think of who it would be. There's been lots said about Shea Lacey recently. About the fact that he's impressing in training, impressing, like, just being in and around the first team. So it could be him. Jim Thwaites, I feel... Is he a little bit too young? I think probably a little bit too young. Diego Leon, does he count? He's kind of already made his way. He's played for the first team in the preseason, so that one doesn't quite count. Someone's saying James Overy. I've seen that he's been impressing as well. If you don't know who James Overy is, he was a youngster we signed from, was it Perth? He was signed from Australia, I'm sure he was. A couple of you are saying JJ Gabriel. I don't think it'll be JJ. My lad's just turned 15. Gabriel Bianchetti is a shout. One of the Fletcher lads. I think one of the Fletcher lads is a good shout. Scanlon, I don't really know why Scanlon's not even played yet. I'll be honest. But I don't think there's any chance it's going to be JJ. He's having a cracking debut season with the under-18s, but that's exactly where he should stay for now. What would I put my... It feels like the pathway would be there for Shea Lacey in the AFCON international break. And also, isn't that when the FA Cup starts too? We'll see. That's probably where I would bet. But I don't quite know. Mantato? That's not a terrible shout. I mentioned him last season. Mr. Men saying, what's happening with Leon? Not seeing him play much. He scored his first goal for the under-21s the other day. And I already covered sort of the season that he's had so far. Did I do that in an update video? I think so. Someone's saying Bianchetti again down there. Which academy player do you think will get it? So this is a question I just asked you. If I was to guess, I would probably say Lacey or one of the Fletcher twins. I'm not really sure who I'd choose out of Tyler and Jack. Was it Tyler who's now started randomly playing at left wing back? I think it is. And he played there for the England's under-19s as well. Anyway, let's move on. Let's speak about senior players. And I want to speak about this man because this is a hand-rubbing thing. Really is. I was so happy to be able to get to watch Mbeumo in the flesh against Brighton. And to see him score twice. United score 4 goals. Rightly named player of the match week. And you will, of course, know that's now back-to-back. Was it Jack who's playing left wing back? Don't know. Either way, it's one of the Fletcher twins. But Maguire won the player of the game week for his performance against Liverpool. And now it's Brian for his performance against Brighton. And this is impossible for you to know off the top of your head, but when was the last time that United got 2 Premier League players of the week back-to-back? I don't know. I'm sure we've had like player of the game week every so often, but I very much expect that we see this at the end of the month. I very much expect that we're going to see a double. I think we're going to see Mbeumo there with the Player of the Month trophy. I think we're going to see Amorim standing there with his Manager of the Month trophy. It feels like those two are pretty much a given. And again, when was the last time that happened? I randomly think I remember Ten Hag and Rashford winning Player of the Month and Manager of the Month at the same time. I don't think Amorim's won Manager of the Month yet, has he? I don't think so. But on top of that, on top of the fact that he's won the Premier League Player of the Week, boom. I think he's going to win Player of the Month for the whole Premier League. He's also up for United's Player of the Month. And that's going to be the poll for today. Because I think this one's actually going to be an interesting debate. Who is your Player of the Month, right? 4 options there. You can see him. You got Cunha, De Ligt, Lemons. So, Cunha, Mbeumo, Lemons. Balls. Lemons. And De Ligt. Someone down there saying it was Erik ten Hag and Højlund. Oh, was that when Højlund went on his little run? Was that after he scored against, was it Villa, his first one? Then he scored 3-4 games in a row? It's interesting. Who gets your vote? Because for the first time in a long old time, I'd say this is a really hard decision. Immediately, I want to say Mbeumo because of output. Game-changing goals. Cunha, I don't mean this in an unfair way. I think Cunha's been doing so much good off the ball that it's harder to vote for him. But if you're a fan and you've been watching him, then you could easily have an argument for him here. I think it's kind of between De Ligt and Mbeumo. And that's me saying that I feel a little bit unfair saying that on Senegal, considering we've now won 3 games in succession since he's been in goal. That is not a coincidence. But who gets out of those 3? I think I'd go for Mbeumo. I'd probably go for De Ligt second. I'd probably go for Lemons third and Cunha fourth. But it's tight. It's really tight. Let me see what you're saying. Phil, you're saying all 4 have been excellent. Arush, you're saying hard one, but I guess Lemons and Mbeumo, that's 2. That's not choosing. De Ligt or Mbeumo, that's also 2. It's not choosing. And Janko, I didn't think of that, but you're right. Like, no Bruno is nice to see. I don't mean that in a way like, I don't want Bruno to get any spotlight anymore, but good. United are starting to rely on different players. United don't have to go to Bruno and say, can you just do something crazy for us to actually win a game of football? Mbeumo, De Ligt and Casemiro, someone's saying down there. Oh, yeah, Casemiro didn't even get in this vote. Good. Don't mean that in a bad way again, but just like we've got enough players playing well that there are some players, maybe even in the top 4, that you go, he should have got it. Let me see what the vote's saying. 370 votes are in. That's actually far more of a runaway than I thought it was going to be. 69% are saying Mbeumo. Maybe that's not too much of a surprise, I suppose. I think he wins Premier League Player of the Month. If he's going to win Premier League Player of the Month, he's probably going to win Player of the Month for your club. That kind of makes sense. But I do think it's a little bit difficult. As I said, I think you can. There's fair arguments for all of them. And it's just a nice, refreshing position for United fans to be in. We've actually enjoyed 2 consecutive weeks here. Anytime we've been able to enjoy a week, we've gone into the weekend, we're going, oh yeah, there you go. Back to earth. There's every chance that this happens against Forest. And we'll speak about the Forest game a little bit later. But I'm going in with a renewed confidence after Brighton and maybe a next level of confidence. Now, that video I did yesterday, kind of reflective of exactly what I've just spoken about. Look at the nominations for Manchester United's Player of the Month. 3 out of 4 of them are new signings. Right? That's what my video yesterday was about. Like, so often we as Manchester United fans, we've been in summer windows and we've been genuinely optimistic about the signings that we've made. Now, they haven't all worked out. But so many of them, you go, right, okay. So you're not exactly doing what you were doing at your previous club. You're struggling to do that in a United shirt. And that's not happening at our club this summer, with this season now. Not by comparisons of others. Like, you look at how much Liverpool's signings are struggling. You look at Arsenal choosing Gyökeres and him having blanks in 5, and we're looking at our signings, and 3 of them are up for the Player of the Month award. One of them is probably going to win Premier League Player of the Month. The new signings are making an impact. That's why I did that video, and that's why I felt it was refreshing. Daz, you're saying, where is De Ligt? Well, this is just me speaking about the new signings. And I think Šeško's been good as well. It's just that I suppose others have taken the spotlight. And I think that's what will happen to Senny Lemons, by the way. He'll just, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, like it kind of fade into the background a little bit. Just your goalkeeper, just being a goalkeeper. A good goalkeeper, you don't really have to speak about him too much. Right? That's what I think. Someone down there saying all four of them, Le Mans, Mbeumo, De Ligt, and Cunha, all had a great run. But what Le Mans is doing deserves the recognition. I think he's had an excellent start. Can't really ask for much more. Not from Sene. But let's go into what I think is going to be an interesting conversation today. And I explain why. I saw Harrison on the Overlap released a video. I watched it all this morning. It's like 30 minutes long. It's quite a long one, to be fair. But speaking about Ruben Amorim, speaking about Manchester United, and speaking about not just the system, but the ideas within the system, the approach of Manchester United, how we're pressing, when we're pressing, what shape we're using, what we're doing in possession, what we're doing out of possession. And I wanted to ask you, and we'll ask it and open this debate up in a sec, about whether you think there's been changes to the system or whether you think it's simply just better execution from the players. Sasha, thanks for gifting a membership down there. Nice to see you. But this has come from Sky Sports yesterday, right? Saying club bosses are quietly satisfied with progress under Ruben Amorim a year on from Ten Hag's exit. And what they're saying. United bosses are quietly satisfied with their progress. I wouldn't say they're quietly satisfied, considering Jim Ratcliffe's come out and said that he wants him to have 3 years. After securing 3 straight wins for the first time in 18 months. Damn. But no, there is still much to do before the men's team can compete regularly at the top level. What we're saying, the team's recent run of impressive results has not been met with overt celebrations. Rather, it has reassured the club hierarchy that the tough decisions taken are starting to have an impact. Anything else down here? Dip. Gives me PTSD seeing him. A new defensive midfield player is the priority to strengthen the squad. We already know that. And yep, remember that number 2 in our series is coming out tomorrow. Working on that now. The Elliot Anderson video gives you a bit more info. But this is United's first 9 games this season versus United's first 9 games last season. Of course, when Erik ten Hag got sacked. One more. Scored twice as much. But yeah, look at the XG. The XG is not that different. But we scored twice as many. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. Second half beginning versus Brighton, we pressed brilliantly, says John. It's a combination of both, says Ashwin. Mike is saying there's definitely been tweaks. Zoli, you're saying there's players are starting to get it. It's better execution in the main. There are some changes for sure, says Alex. And the execution has also improved. And that's kind of the thing I wanted to just open up to the floor here. I think I might do my lunchtime video on this, so I'll keep my own direct analysis separate. I just want to know from you, because seeing the reaction to this, there seems to be quite a few United fans in the comments, in the replies, that feel that Manchester United's improvement in these last 3 games is pretty much just down to player execution. It's like nothing's changed. It's the same approach, but the players aren't being whoppers. There's no individual mistakes. The shots are going in. Someone down there saying, why are we looking for a new central midfielder? We've got Mbeumo and Ugarte. Yeah, let's not be trolling, dude. We know full well that we need a midfielder. We know that full well that the same level of overhaul that happened in attack this summer is going to happen in midfield next summer. That includes hopefully not Mbeumo, if I'm being honest. Casemiro, Ugarte. Could well be Bruno. We'll find out. Well, let me see what you're saying in the chats. Shaw has surprised me this season, says Michael. Did not expect this from him. He's been good. Well, the cynic in you will look at that and say, well, it is a World Cup year, let's be totally honest. I think Luke Shaw, well done, Sam. If you're going to curse this, if it happens in the next game, then you know I've got... I was a good luck charm against Brighton, so I'll say it. Shaw has started 9 out of 9 games and hasn't got injured in the Premier League so far. But didn't expect that. I suppose I didn't expect the same sort of improvements from Casemiro either. Alex saying, note how we have played big teams in between the last season. Don't get what that comment says. Alex saying the front three have been better, have a better understanding of each other compared to August. Semenyo as our new left wing back will be phenomenal. Ugh. Imagine signing Semenyo and making him play left wing back. Nah. Hell no. He's way too good a player to play there. Someone saying we need Wharton to complete the team. Chris saying, just looking at the last few goals, celebrations, I think this current group are fighting for each other. Yeah, well, you know about the basics. If you don't do the basics right, then your team looks awful. I think the thing I found interesting about this debate is a suggestion by some United fans that there hasn't been any tweaks. That there hasn't been any changes. Like, the way that we played and the way that we set up, maybe not the way we played, obviously that's changed. But the way that we set up against Brentford, keep bloody saying the two things. Too many teams we're going with BR. It's only two. But we just played both recently. I definitely feel like it's a combination of both. I think, yes, the players are definitely executing it better. De Ligt and Shaw stepping up. Because we know full well that the space between the lines, you need that aggressive centre-back line if you want to play Ruben Amorim's ultimate version of his team, which is what you saw against Brighton. I thought Sunderland was a specific approach for a specific game. I thought Liverpool was a specific approach for a specific game. I think Brighton, that's what he wants to do against a lot of teams. You don't need, this might be a bit of a strange thing to say, but you don't need the ball to be, it really does sound like a stupid thing to say. You don't need the ball to be dominant. Like, you can allow teams to have really passive possession in their own box, in their own half. Not in their own box, but near their own goal. I mean, sweet FA. You can go with that full tilt heavy metal football, but how often have you seen United struggle with that, with the front press? When you've got Šeško in the middle, Cunha on the left, and Mbeumo on the right, and you're trying to press as a three, probably getting backed up by your two midfielders behind them, and then maybe your line of five. It didn't work. But that game against Brighton, I remember I was watching it, obviously. It felt like United were quite happy to sit off Brighton until the point where they wanted the ball, and then boom, we all went as one. It felt like we picked and we chose our moments rather than just you either full on press or you don't press at all. It feels like we were selective in a good way. And that meant we actually had a little bit less possession, but it meant that the possession that we had was so dangerous. I think we had, it feels like all of our goals were created by winning the ball in the opposition's half as well. What are you saying down here? Teresa saying the setup has definitely changed for the better. There is stability, says Richard. John saying biggest change is not playing around at the back. That's definitely a bit of a shift. Got 900 votes for him, by the way. We'll end the poll there. 72% of you think that Mbeumo is going to be player of the month. So I'd say that's a pretty convincing win. Gabriel saying, is Amorim playing safe, going low block, or is this the style he sees that suits this team? Correct me if I'm wrong. How have you seen these last three games? I would say the Liverpool game was a low block. I wouldn't say Brighton was a low block. I would say Brighton, when we were 3-0 up and Dorgu made the mistake and then Welbeck scored the free kick, I think the players naturally retreated. But I don't think that was Ruben on the touchline going, right, we've conceded now, everyone go and sit on the edge of your own box. I think the players naturally sort of shifted into a deeper shape. Sunderland felt so routine. I remember that win. That was what I said after the game. I was like, it just felt like one of those games like playing Norwich under Fergie. That's what that Sunderland game felt like. Didn't really need to get out of third gear. Just kind of passing it around, enjoying yourselves, playing at a lower tempo. Just had the quality. Mike saying, I'm curious to see how we do against a low block. Well, you've mentioned it there. Forest is going to be a hell of a game. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to see this bloke here swinging in balls with his left foot than Šeško or Cunha popping up at the back post. And I've been thinking that it's going to be coming in certain games, but if I'm going to choose a game where I'm really going to predict it to come in, I'm going to choose Forest. Because I think that a way to beat low blocks... I can't remember what Liverpool game I was watching. I have no idea. But it was the balls. They were playing against a really deep low block, had so much possession on the edge of the box. But it was those balls over the top, those in-swinging crosses that really kind of got behind the low block. Because if you've got Šeško in there, odds are you're going to win most. Well, you're going to win like 50-odd%. Kelechi saying, with the way United play, we have to be getting more penalties. We'll go and speak to Anthony Taylor. I don't think United not getting any penalties against Brighton was our fault, was it? It was a definite penalty. Siraj saying, I feel Amorim plays differently to home and away games. I think that's quite natural for a lot of teams. It does feel like right now, maybe this is kind of how you have to approach football in general, really, these days. Or maybe you always have been. I don't know. But it feels like we're approaching it on a game-by-game basis. It feels like against Forest, there's probably going to be a slightly different way that we play compared to how we played against Brighton at home. And then after that, are we going to play the exact same way against Thomas Frank's Spurs, or is there going to be small changes there too? I don't know. What's that saying down here? This game, if to get them on the attack, they will be squashed. Mike saying, does Shaw have the legs to play left wing back when Martinez returns? I've semi-thought that as well. Because if I'm looking at a weakness in this current team, I think I'm definitely going left wing back currently. I think Dorgu's had a struggle so far this season. I don't like Dyche playing there. Could Luke Shaw play there? If he played there, he wouldn't be the overlapping left wing back. That's for sure. Oh, I just had a little bit of PTSD thinking about inverted wingbacks, inverted fullbacks, like Dyche popping up on the edge of the bloody... Do you remember under Dyche? Under Ten Hag, Dyche got himself in so many damn good positions and then somehow just ballsed up in all the positions. Like, it's incredible that you got there and you incredibly got possession, but how have you turned that into nothing? Brian saying, why isn't Dorgu trusted? Dorgu's raw, man. I still feel he's got really good fundamentals, but that was a big individual mistake against Brighton. And in those scenarios, they lead to goal situations. Of course, Welbeck scored. I don't really know what's going on with Dorgu. There's moments in games where I think that's what he is. He's a bit of a moments player right now. I think me and the lads were speaking about this on the podcast. Dorgu's got to find a way to... mate, you don't have to have an 8 out of 10 performance. Honestly, you don't. Just play 5 games in a row and just play like a 6 out of 10. Just be consistent. Don't make any big mistakes. Have a couple of nice passes forward. Make your tackles when you need to. Don't try and do too much. Don't try and take on too much. You don't have to constantly be overlapping. Just play some basic games for like 5 games in a row. And once you get that, right, now we'll add on to it. Now we'll start overlapping. Now we'll really bomb forward. But just get the basics right and then build on it. I think from an athletic perspective, we know he's got all the fundamentals. I think we were speaking about Dorgu's weaknesses before. We were speaking about his delivery into the box, weren't we? We said, what's the thing that we really think that Dorgu has to improve on? I'm sure we said delivery into the box. We'll find out. But anyway, I just thought this was an interesting debate. Because for me, it feels quite obvious that Ruben Amorim has made some tweaks. Does it mean he's thrown his system out the window? No. We're playing the exact same system. But the application of it has been tweaked. The most obvious one to the naked eye is the fact that we are going long more. We're playing a bit more direct. It's not that we're giving up possession, but we're giving up possession outside our own box because that possession isn't actually leading to any improved level of control or improved level of penetrating through the middle, which technically it should. If you're better at playing out from the back with the ball, you'll progress the ball centrally quite easily, just playing through the lines. We just can't do that still. We still can't do that. So kind of negate that a little bit. win the second balls, which we've been significantly better at all season. Yeah, I think there have been tweaks. And also at the same time, this is the thing with most debates around United these days. Like, both sides can be true at the same time. You know how people, I always get frustrated when people are like, you're either in or you're out. You're either him or... So what? But kind of parts of this I agree with and parts of that I agree with. And those sort of like nuanced debates and conversations, they rarely exist online because, well, they're not the ones that garner attention. You have to be either extreme here or extreme there. Truth is, it's somewhere in the middle. And long may it continue, and I hope it does bloody continue against Forest. What have we got as the next talking point? Don't need those. Yeah, let's just speak about Forest now. What is everyone thinking about Forest? Let me read some of your comments out down here. Tweak to adapt to every opponent, says Mbeumo. We can't play the same against every team and expect to win every game. I think you can if you're like top of the league, you're dominant and you're the best and every team's just kind of scared of you. But until we reach that point, we're going to have to like tweak our way back to the very top. And once you're at the top and everyone's chasing you, then you're kind of set in your ways and you just use it to crush everybody, I suppose. Comment there from, how you doing, dude? M United ES, Spanish one. Inspiration said, I've been creating United content in Spanish for 15 years. Muy bueno. Yeah? That's Spanish. That was good. I think it was. Dos cerveza, por favor. That's all you need to know in Spanish, right? 2 beers, please. Right. What do you think about Forest? Like, the starting 11 for Forest will go out on Friday. 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, we'll get out on Friday. Oh, man, I want to win this game. Like, what do you think... What do you think changes against Forest? What tweaks do you think we bring? Because we know how Sean Dyche's football. We know how it's going to work. And Sean Dyche, man, I want to beat him. Because I'm going to bring the receipts up from this if we do.
What do you make of what's going on there? With obviously Erik ten Hag losing his job and now obviously Ruben Amorim. You talk about philosophy and style. He said quite clearly he's not going to change the way he plays.
You better win some games then, pretty quick, in my opinion. Yeah. I reckon if I went there and played my way, I reckon I'd win more games. And I'm not just saying that, just 4-4-2. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Give them basic rules and principles. Yeah. And go, look, some good players, yeah. You don't have to over-teach everyone, I don't think.
Oh, man. Imagine Sean Dyche as manager of United. Wow. If I remember correctly, was Sean Dyche the manager of Everton when Amorim beat him 4-0? I think so. Let me see what you're saying about Forest. Someone down there saying adapt to the opponent, look to nullify their strengths. I disagree on that one. If I'm looking towards an opponent, I'm not looking to nullify their strengths. I'm looking to expose their weaknesses. Like, imagine if you go into a game, like for example, you go into a game against City, you go, right, we've got to stop Haaland. And you focus so much on trying to stop their best player that their second best player just comes through and scores because you're not looking at him. I'd rather focus on exposing a team's weaknesses. Like, what is Forest's weakness? We're recording the pod later, so I'll be asking Nick and Dan this as well. What would you say is Forest's weakness? Apart from the fact that they're bloody 18th in the league. Wherever they are. Their weakness is that they've had 3 managers this season. They've got a chairman who is an absolute psychopath. And there's no stability whatsoever in that football club. So in that environment, and at home, and playing United, they're going to be really like that, batten down the hatches. Like, they're going to be sitting so deep and just trying to hit us on the counter. And it's going to be a game where we get frustrated. So, like, how do you break that low block down? Because you know it's coming. It's predictable. And it's probably going to be, if Forest stay up this season, it's going to be the reason they stay up. That's, what is it? It's in October. Forest goals this season now, don't get relegated. So if that's your mindset, and that's what's driving you, you know how they're going to play. It's exactly why they get Sean Dyche in. Dowski saying he has to watch how Sean Dyche plays and find the weaknesses and tweak. Depends on the situation, Mikey says. Fergie said he wishes he'd man-marked Messi in the Champions League final loss. I suppose maybe in extreme cases like that, in Champions League finals where you've got two of the most elite teams in the world going up against each other, you could probably have a conversation about maybe you look at their strengths, but not in these situations. All right? At the very, very top level, when you get two teams that are so good at playing each other, maybe. Linton saying a nice 5-0. Mike saying set pieces. Right now, there's no stability. Sean Dyche is definitely going to go the lowest block possible. I'll be worried about our defending on set pieces because still... Actually, to be fair, Senny's been coming out and claiming some balls. They were very good against Porto. Didn't put a foot wrong. Then they played... Anybody watch the Bournemouth game? I'll probably watch like the extended highlights of the Bournemouth game. I think Bournemouth won 2-0, didn't they? Someone saying, I think Šeško starts. They're going to play long balls to break the lines. Šeško definitely starts this game. Definitely. And like when you think about it, there's a possibility you might see Maguire in the team as well. Because I wouldn't expect Forest to be pressing down on us massively in this game. I could see Amorim taking the approach that he used against Chelsea at Old Trafford with Dyche right centre-back and Maguire centre-back. Gives a little bit more aggression, gives a little bit more physicality, and certainly on set pieces gives you a bit more. Because, like, who even is the... I don't even know what Forest team is these days. They obviously sold Elanga. Elliot Anderson, I'm going to definitely be keeping an eye on him. Let me have a look at the Forest results. Forest results. Lost against Bournemouth. Let's have a look at the teams. Lineups. Jump. To be fair, that's pretty decent. Gibbs, White, and Dyche. That the one I got from Bologna, I think it was. And Hudson-Odoi. I mean, they're clearly just going to try and hit you on the counter. Elliot Anderson. Nico Williams, Murillo. Yeah, they've got quite a physical team. They won't have long ball. They won't play long balls. They have Gibbs, White, Anderson, Hudson-Odoi, and Jesus. Forest don't have pacey players. I mean, they're wingers. Pretty pacey. I think we could see Maguire in the starting 11. I think I've said this across the course of the season. I want to see De Ligt starting more games at central centre-back in that position than Maguire across the course of the 38-game season. But there will be games where Maguire suits it best. Liverpool away, an example of that. Possibly, Forest away is going to be an example of that. I wouldn't say the same for Spurs away. I think Spurs away, I'd rather have a bit of De Ligt and Yoro because I think there's going to be a lot of spaces, a lot of open spaces that have to be covered. And I don't think that game would suit it. But certain games, and maybe this is one of them, might see Maguire. Stopping Morgan Gibbs White will be key. The team is full of quality, says Rev. Just none shown yet this season. I'm definitely more confident, obviously, because we've won 3 games in a row, right? But I still am going into this Forest game. I'm like, please don't, United. Please don't. Please don't burst this bubble. Because it's been 18 months since we won 3 games in a row. Know how long that is? That is disgusting. Manchester United. And it was up until that Brighton game. It was 18 months since we won 3 games in a row. I'm guessing they're talking about the league. But that's just like unheralded before. I think we'll be okay against Forest, but we just have to make sure we don't get exposed by how they're going to play. I think like Steve, you're saying we'll be fine. Wizzo, you're saying he needs to stay focused. I think focus will be a big thing in this game. I think we'll actually have a lot of the ball. Isn't it hilarious? Like, you look at what Forest have done this season. They've gone from Nuno to Poch No, not Poch. Postecoglou. And now they've gone back to Dyche. It's like they left. They walked away from a manager who had built so much success on playing that deeper football and expansive counter-attacking, rapid counter-attacking, and it worked. To go to a manager who plays really open, complete opposite, it hasn't worked. Who saw that coming? To then go to Sean Dyche, who was effectively Nuno's. He's just like a lesser version of Nuno. Is that a fair way to describe Sean Dyche and his football? Let's find out on Saturday, really. I'll be honest, not worried about Morgan's White. Is it Jesus? Or is it Jesus? I don't know how to pronounce the name of their striker. Dyche is going to play a low block with quick counters. Maguire may not be the best option in that scenario. Kind of depends on how you see the game playing out. Cunha's going to big up Cunha. I want to show you this stat. It's a cracking little stat. Most goals scored outside of the box in the Premier League since the start of the 2024-25 season is Matheus Cunha. And look who's second. Bruno Fernandes. I'm looking forward to whenever it happens. I was looking forward to Cunha's first goal, but I'm looking forward to when he just whips one in from like 25 yards right into the top bins. Right at top of the post. Cunha's going to be well up for it. And Cunha's looking fit now. Our front three is just... I think they just choose themselves. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to Mason Mount. But Cunha left attacking mid, Šeško centre forward, and Mbeumo right attacking mid. That's easily your best front three. And then there's conversation. Because the Premier League is so intense these days, you can't win the league with the starting 11. You just can't. I remember when, was it like 2 years ago? About 2 years ago? When Arsenal, I swear they put out basically the same starting 11 every single game. And they hardly had any injuries. And it got to like March, April time and players started looking leggy. Who could have seen that coming? You need a squad to win the Premier League these days. I don't think that was always the case. I really don't. I think as long as you had your strongest 11, you could obviously chop and change little bits here and there. But because of the pace and the intensity has just gone up and up and up, I think to win the league, you need not only 11 wicked players, you need like 16, 17, and then you've obviously got the rest of the squad too. Come on, Sam. We just shoot from silly places outside the box, don't we? And we got the Athletic again there. Winter Mute, you're saying that Cunha goal was vintage Cunha. Mate, it was such a crafted goal. Opened his body, right foot, stroked it into the corner, not overly hit, didn't hit it too hard, didn't really get much backlift, didn't really lift much off the ground either. Right. I think I might wrap up. Last minute or two, anything that you don't think I've spoken about, let me know. Can I show you this, right? I've started to figure these out. So I think we could start doing this. I don't know if anybody gets it. If you give some memberships now, bam, look, you can make the lights react to the voice. Shubba-dubba-dub. Shabba-dabba-dub-bub-bub. Silence. Thank you very much. What about that one? What's that one do? Whoa, that's crazy. Anyway, I was having fun with this. So I've kept my phone open now. I can use my phone to control the lights separately. Too many things going on. It's like a spaceship in here. A Sesko missile. Missile? Not a Šeško missile. To get the day started would be amazing. At some point, he's going to crash one in. Yeah, that was something he did at Leipzig. Kind of shot from, sometimes, just kind of outrageous angles. Play the elevator music with it. That's not elevator music. Sort of lights. We're beating Forest 3-1, someone says down there. I hope you're right. Casemiro will need to help on the counters. Anthony saying if Dyche low blocks, we now have the technical capability to break them down and now score. I see what you're doing down there. Gifting a little cheeky membership. Well, we can get... Bam! Thank you very much. I don't know why I pulled a crap Elvis impression out. I'm a big kid at heart. Come on. That's why I like these sort of things. Should we have a look at another old advert to end the show? Your club, your game, your key. Official confectionery of the FA Premier League. Didn't you know? Look at all these, all the official sponsors of United back in the day. Sharp, Umbro. Is that Lotus? It's not Lotus, Lotus the car. Carling, Century Radio, Sun Microsystems, Visa, Western Union. All Sports. I remember them. Look at the squad that we had for this game. Mark Bosnich, Gary Neville, Dennis Irwin, Davey May, Ronnie Johnson, Yap Stam, David Beckham, Nicky Butt, Andy Colt, Sheringham, Giggs, Neville, John Curtis, Jordi Cruyff, Jesper Blomqvist, Roy Keane, Raymond van der Hal. Didn't like him. Scholes, York, Solskjaer, Berg. Damn, and Massimo Taibi. Ugh. Put that down. Right. Wicked. Thank you very much, Amy, for sending that in. I'll get that up on the shelf. And as I said, if there's anybody who's got old school magazines like this, and it's from March in a year, I reckon between 97 to 2004, can you have a look and look at the Fred the Red section? Because I reckon you might get my name there. That could be fun. Right. Take it easy, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And the lunchtime video, I think, today will be on the Ruben Amorim system, I think. And what the changes are coming.